Should also say we had a video from 2012, right? That now has just gone crazy.
Yeah, a Matt Lauer video. It was this very bizarre...
It was super creepy with Anne Hathaway, and
Yes.
it was very telling.
Well, it was telling in every way because essentially, I guess she was at an event or something. She was coming out of her car, and some paparazzi person took a photo of her crotch.
Yeah, went underneath her dress.
Literally went underneath her dress. And Matt Lauer's response was like,
No, Matt Lauer said
We've been
specifically
seeing a lot of you
Oh, yeah, I've
recently."
been seeing a lot of you recently is the way that he introduced her. Like,
Yeah. That was the lecherous part. But then the other very, very telling part was that he was like, any lessons learned?
lessons learned. He said, you had a wardrobe malfunction. Any lessons learned? So you want to play that? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to end up repeating myself from what I said, I guess, 5 years ago. But the all right, yeah, well, okay, play it. It's pretty short here. Go ahead. That's super slow, as far as I can tell.
Anne Hathaway, good morning. Nice to see you.
Morning, Matt.
Seen a lot of you lately.
Sorry about that.
You were.
I'd be happy to stay home, but the film.
Let's just get it out of the way. You had a little wardrobe malfunction the other night. What's the lesson learned from something like that, other than that you keep smiling, which you always do?
Well, it was obviously an unfortunate incident.
Yeah.
I think it kind of made me sad on two accounts. One was that I was very sad that we live in an age when someone takes a picture of another person in a vulnerable moment and rather than delete it and do the decent thing, sells it. And I'm sorry that we live in a culture that commodifies sexuality of unwilling participants, which brings us back to Les Mis, because that's what my character is. She is someone who is forced to sell sex to benefit her child because she has nothing and there's no social safety net. And so let's get back to Les Mis.
One of the most creative turns of a question I have ever heard.
Yeah, right.
I like the way he had a second there. He was like, yeah, right, sure.
I mean,
Maybe
what an ass for bringing it up. The idea that that's a wardrobe. I mean, he's basically sort of like slut shaming her there, right? Like, maybe you should learn to make sure that you're clothed in such a way that if some guy wants to take a picture underneath your dress, it won't be too revealing for you. Like, I think I'm saying exactly what I said 7 years because I just find it so appalling.
Yep. She's going to wear the Mormon underwear from now on. That's what she learned.
I got to say that, like, every time I see that clip now, because this is the second time I watched it in a couple of days, her politics are pretty good. I was I'd be interested to actually have a more expansive conversation because she's like, there's no social safety net that, I don't know.
Yeah, one of my leftist friends actually went to college with her and said that she's very cool and was into activism a bit.
So good. I mean, and good for her for not saying like, "Oh, you're a fucking jerk off, man." Well, who starts an interview that way?
She sort of did.
Yes,
which is why it was so effective.
And then his like, but you're still smiling. You're always smiling. You really handle this type of complete violation of you really well, and that's the way I like it. When when it comes out that I've violated women 5 years from now, I like the ones that I violate and they still smile about it. That's my favorite.
Waiting for them in my office in my ducky briefs, and they just smile.
Yeah, it's like, hey. I know this has been a disgusting event for you here, and you may feel horrible about yourself, and you may have just been traumatized, but make sure you leave the office smiling.
Not just smiling. It's how I like to leave my women. All right, now we have a cooking segment with Hoda.
Hi, folks. Sam Cedar here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos